Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing. This March the 6th, 2025 daily update here. This will be a quick update. We're on the move. We're going to watch the Fighting Wolverines playing the Big Ten championship game at 3:30 this afternoon. So this will be a short update. I just wanted to give you a quick update here on what's going on. We had a little bit of price movement today in a violent fashion, up and down, but still sitting within that ranges, the ranges that we talked about leading into the weekend. You can see we're trading just below the 200-day moving average in Bitcoin. We still are in this up and sideways consolidation coming off of the bounce that we had back down here at about 83,000 and change the other day that we talked about. We've been trading just below the 200-day moving average in the daily time frame, which is sitting at $85,611. We thought that's what would happen this weekend. We said we could trade as high as the 89,000 or the 50-day moving average just below it right here at that horizontal blue resistance line, but we haven't really moved that off. We've been pumping 2 or 3% up and then going back down 2 or 3% right after that. So we're going to wait for the market to open this evening. When I get home at about 7 o'clock tonight, we'll do a more in-depth update. Had kind of a busy weekend, but the Bitcoin price hasn't really done anything other than what we talked about coming into the weekend, and that's pretty much the same across the board. We're in the wrong one. That's pretty much the same across the board, what we're looking at. Let's get back into these ones. These are where I got my beautiful charts. And we ask you to become members of Jabroni Killers for an industry cheap to get that first mover advantage to help you heist, fleece, and shiest and bring truth and information and most importantly education back in and confidence to the cryptocurrency and legitimize the market on our road to 10,000 subscribers. You can see Bitcoin dominance is still well ahead and well above the dominance level that we've been watching for it to come back down to try to get an altcoin rally, but we're not seeing any signs of that in the 4-hour time frame or the daily. It's been sitting up there around 60 to 61% dominance ever since it had that big wick off right here on the February 3rd debacle in the altcoin market where we had a big dump. You would need to see it do something like the red line that we have drawn there for any kind of a big pump up and relief rally in the altcoin market as a whole. If we move into, I want to touch in on XLM. It tried and has been sitting there. If we look at this in the 4-hour, you can see it bounced off of that 25-cent support level quite nicely the other day. That had a 10 or 11% move up to about the 200-day moving average if we zoom in here a little bit that we talked about on Friday and Thursday. And we thought it could trade in between the 200-day and potentially this weekend as high as the 50-day, which is sitting up here at about 30 cents. But just like Bitcoin, it just traded sideways. And then this morning it had a little bit of a dump down, maybe trying to come back down and retest the 25-cent horizontal blue line right there. And if it does do that, there could be another relief rally or a bounce off of there as the volume comes in later on tonight with the market open, the weekly market openings across the board. Maybe we could try to pump to 32 cents, but we haven't really seen any pumps. It's just been stagnant and trading sideways in an uneventful weekend. And most of the coins that we follow here and in most of crypto, it's been quiet. So we'll watch that tonight, see what happens when that market does open, if there's any kind of reaction. The same thing, the one that had one of the bigger runs up that we talked about for the weekend that actually did do it was XRP. We were sitting here last Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and we talked about we could bounce off of that neckline support and maybe pump as high as between the 100-day and the 200-day or this horizontal red resistance level up there at about the 255 level. And we did come up to, I believe on Friday, we had a nice rally. It came up to about 246, but this weekend it hasn't really done anything. As you can see, it's actually trended down since Saturday afternoon and overnight to this morning. It traded back down to pretty much right on top of the 100-day moving average in the daily time frame. But we did have a nice bounce, something that we were talking about from the wick low late Monday, early Tuesday to the wick high later in the week. It did have a 30% move to the upside, and that's something that we talked about. This weekend, it hasn't done anything eventful. It's just been trading more or less sideways. We've had a little bit of a down action the last 12 to 18 hours, wicking down from the 50-day moving average at about 244, 245, 246, down to a wick low this morning of about 232. So we're going to wait to see what happens when the market opens. Do we have a big dump to the downside to continue what's been going on the last 6 or 8 weeks of downward pressure, or do we get a little bit of a relief rally to start off the new candle week to get a little bit of excitement back into the market, as everything has been overly bearish and some of these coins are overly sold in the short time frame but still overbought in the longer time frame. And you can see the moving averages continue to trend down. And XRP, this is one of the ones that's taking the longest to have a bearish cross. I still do believe that we will see a bearish cross because we are in this head and shoulders topping out reversal pattern. And you do know the technical target is down there at about $1.29 when it does decide to break down out of that. You can see AMP, we're still trading within this falling wedge. We're down 75, 76% from that December high, early December high at about 1.5 cents. I still think there's going to be some kind of a short-term bounce, a pretty big bounce of 30 to potentially 75%, and then it would most likely give back all those gains, something like in yellow there. But I do believe as this thing's been beaten down the most, that it's oversold in the shorter or the medium-term time frame, that I believe that some kind of a just reactionary bounce back is more than likely to happen. Would it hold those gains? More than likely not. But could there be a nice swing trade in the very short to near term? There could potentially be, and that's what we're watching out for. And then in the longer term, the next year or two, I believe this coin will have another big pump to the upside. Hbar continues to trade down. We have to come down and meet that technical target of 15 cents that you see there on the horizontal blue line. Because we had a mountain double top there, our targeted move is right there with the arrow, which gets you to 15 cents. And I think that's where the next major move is going to come. You can see we're probably overnight tonight, we're going to have a bearish cross where that 50 in the daily is going to get below the 200, where the 200 is sitting at about 22 cents, and the 50-day is sitting just above it at 23.078. So it's within a penny of crossing. I think tonight or tomorrow it's going to cross here in the Hbar. ZIL, still continuing with the down pressure. You can watch other videos and see how I feel about ZIL. Algo came down to our first target at 17 cents, and we're still seeing if there's going to be a reactionary bounce back from the 17 cents to potentially up to this 20-cent level, as we just confirmed our golden bearish cross. You see that? The short-term 50 is now below the 200-day moving average. And Algo, you can see the 0.2624 is the 50-day, and the 200 is just above that, barely above it, but above it at 0.2653. So that golden bearish cross has taken place. And we still think there could be a reactionary bounce back off of hitting this technical level at about 17 cents, potentially up to about a short-term pump of 23 cents, and then that overhead 50 that's declining could force it down to our ultimate underneath target of about 10 cents. And that's what we're watching out for here in the short daily update. I just wanted to keep you informed. We'll get, hopefully after a Michigan victory, Jay, in the Big Ten title game, we'll get more in depth tonight. I got a little drunk last night, so I wasn't able to make a video when I got home. I promptly passed out. But hopefully these little updates throughout the day before I can put the extensive videos that we do once a day on most days get you through and get you some information that you needed. Peace and love. The Rock's eyebrow, Jay, to the beautiful audience.